Hello friends, this is our first video of Devops interview question answering series. In this series we will cover all the Devops interview questions. First we start from the basic, after slowly we move towards the advanced interview questions. I prepared the answers in easy language so you can easily explain in your interview. In this video we covered 4 questions of Git and GitHub. So this is our first video and we start from the basic. So let's start the video. The first question is, what is Git? The Git is most popular, open source, widely used and example of distributed version control system used for handling the development of small and large project in more efficient and neat manner. So the most important word is distributed version control system, because the work is distributed when we are working in Git, and it is the most suitable when there are multiple people working on project as a team, and is used for tracking the project changes and effectively supports the collaboration of development process. Okay, the multiple people's working in on a project, then we use the Git. Okay, because it's a distributed version control system. What is GitHub? It is a, we can store the code centrally. Okay, we store the code centrally using this distributed version control system, which is Git. Okay, with the help of version control system, the developer can identify who has made what changes and then run, test and fix the bugs. Okay, this is also one important point. And if anyone who can update it or change the code, we can or developer can identify easily, then do necessary features implementation. Okay, in case of unforeseen circumstances, the code can reverted to any previous working version, thereby saving user effort. Okay, so we can be reverted to previous version if we need it. Okay, if the developer wants the code previous code, which because suppose the currently he is working on currently working code is not good or it's wrong, then he can easily revert back to the previous version of the code. Okay, so this is one of the feature. And the next question is, explain key feature of Git. So first I want to tell that these are the 3 points, and if you explain these 3 points, it is sufficient. Okay, after the interviewer may ask you what is the key feature of Git or why Git is used, then we need to explain these 5 feature. The first feature is distributed architecture. Instead of one central storage, Git lets each developer have their own complete copy of project history. This means if one copy get lost or damaged, there are backup everywhere, because it's a distributed version control system. Everyone have the copy of the code or project on their local machine. Okay, plus because each copy is complete, developer can work without constantly needing an internet connection, making this thing faster. Okay, there is no need of internet connection because we can install the Git on our local machine. It's a software. Okay, but yeah, when we are install the Git on EC2 instance and we are working on that, then we need the internet. So this also we have to keep in mind. Second point is data integrity. It is also most important point. It uses a fancy math cryptographic hash function to make sure that nobody messes with project history. Okay, and it's like putting a seal on each change to prove it's genuine and it hasn't been tampered with. Okay, the third point is that branching and merging. So branching and merging is one of the most important thing when you are working in the project. Okay, without this nothing will happen. Imagine you are working on a project with the friends, and each of you is working on different parts. It lets you all work on your parts without messing up each other work. Okay, so the work is separate, it's a distributed. Okay, then when everything ready, it's help you combine all your work together seamlessly. After that, speed. Git is designed to handle operation quickly regardless of project size. The project size may be big or small. This doesn't affect the speed of the Git. Okay, many operations are performed locally, reducing the need for network access and speeding up the workflow. Okay, no need of internet. If we install the Git on our local system, then the work is also faster. Okay, open source. It's a fifth point is it is open source, and meaning it's free to use, and its source code is easily available for anyone to inspect, modify and enhance. And third question is that what is GitHub? So a GitHub repository can be used to store the development project. Okay, so first keep in mind what is GitHub. It is a storage, and Git is a distributed version control system. We push the code from Git to GitHub. GitHub is a central repository. So second point, it can contain folder and any type of files, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, document, data, images, or any file you can store, because it's a storage. A GitHub repository should also include a license file and readme files about the project, because we see when we are in the when we access any project on a Chrome browser in GitHub, so there are slice and files are also there, and readme files also are there. So what is the readme file? It is nothing but is a data about the data, all the instruction of project which is given in this file. So you can also explain if you asked what is readme file or license file. Okay, last point is a GitHub repository can also be used to store the ideas or any resources that you want to share. Okay, store ideas or any resources you can also store and you share using the GitHub. Okay, so these are 4 points, and there may be chances that explaining the Git and GitHub scenario in a real-time scenario of these tools. So that's why I have included one scenario, real-time scenario of project in this below this question. Imagine a team of developers working on a mobile app project called as Taskmaster. Each developer contributes code to different feature of app. Here how the GitHub facilitates collaboration in this scenario. So the first one is repository creation. The team creates a new repository named as Taskmaster GitHub. This repository will store all the project files including source code, images and documentation. Okay, so the name of repository may be Taskmaster, so assume that. Okay, next one is cloning the repository. After creation of repository, each developer clones the Taskmaster repository to their local machine using it. Okay, so from here the work of Git is start. First, the repository created on GitHub. After that, each developer clones the Taskmaster repository on the local machine using it. This creates a local copy of project on their local machine or computer, allowing them to make changes offline. And the third point is that branching. Developer creates a branch to work on specific feature or fixes without affecting the main code base. For example, one developer creates a branch called as feature login page to implement the app's login functionality. Okay, the branching is also one of the feature. We know that. Coding and commits. Developer writes code, make changes, periodically commits their work to their branches. Each commits represents a snapshot of project at the certain point in time. So after that pull request, one developer completes their work on a feature or fix. They create a pull request to merge their changes in the main branch. Once the team member can review the code, leave comments and suggested modification before the changes merged. Once the developer completes the work, then another developer can simply merge their changes into the main branch by using the git pull command. So this is one thing you have to explain. And next point is other team member can review the code, leave the comment and suggested modification before changes are merged. Before doing any changes, so our team members can be review the code. So once the code merged, then it is difficult to change again. So keep in mind this point also. After a 6-point code review, team member conducts a code review to ensure code quality, adherence to coding standard and catch any error or bugs. They can discuss the code directly within the pull request using GitHub commenting system. So this is a code review. After that, code continuous integration. GitHub integrates with the CI tools like Travis CI, Circle CI or GitHub Actions. Okay, there is another tools also, that is Jenkins. These tools are automatically runs on the code base whenever the new commit is pushed or pull request is open. This helps catch bugs early and ensure that the code base remains stable. Okay. The merging changes. Once pull request is approved and all test pass, the changes are merged into main branch. GitHub automatically updates the project history and notifies the team member of the merge. There is also one feature that GitHub automatically updates the project history and notifies the team member of the merge. There is also one feature by using that GitHub notifies the team members that team members is merged something on the main branch on the repository. So deployment. After merging the changes into the branches, the team can deploy the updated version of the app to the production. This can be done manually or automated through the CI/CD pipeline. So CI/CD pipeline, it's a part of the Jenkins or continuous integrations and delivery pipelining part. We will discuss later in the Jenkins video. After issues tracking, GitHub issues tracker is one of the feature that allows team members to report bugs, request feature and track task. Okay, and developer can link pull request and commits to specific issue, providing traceable history of changes. Okay, so it is one of the feature. So the team members to report the bugs and request. This is the last point, and this 10 point. Using this 10 point, you can easily explain the real-time scenario how the software development team collaborating with each other in project. Okay, so last question is the difference between the Git and GitHub. The first is Git is a software and GitHub is a service. Yes, we already discussed this. Git is a software, we can install this on our local system and there is no need of internet. When if we are installed in our local system and we are installed in our EC2 instance, or we are working on the cloud, then internet is needed. Second point is Git is command line tool. Lots of commands are there, we already know that. GitHub is a graphical user interface. Third point, Git is installed locally on the system. GitHub is hosted on the web. Fourth point, Git is maintained by the Linux and GitHub is maintained by the Microsoft. So these are the Microsoft owns the GitHub. Okay. Git is focused on version control and code sharing. GitHub is focused on central source code hosting. Okay. Version control and code sharing. Okay, it's a distributed version control and it's a central source code hosting. Git is a version control to manage source code history. GitHub is a hosting service for Git repositories. It was first released in 2005 and GitHub was launched in 2008. Git has no user management feature. GitHub has a built-in user management feature. Okay, so this Git has no user management feature. This is okay. Ninth point, Git is open source licensed. GitHub includes a free tier and pay for use tier. Okay, these two tiers it includes. 10th point, Git has minimal external tool configuration. GitHub has active marketplace for tool integration. 11th point, Git provides a desktop interface named Git GUI and GitHub provides a desktop interface named GitHub Desktop. Last point, Git competes with the CVS, Azure, Devops server subversions, and GitHub competes with GitLab, Bitbucket, AWS Code Commit, etc. So there are 12 points. You can explain any 5 to 6 points in your interview. So this is all about today's video. The main purpose of videos, I have collected these points which are really easy and simple and most important to explain in the interview. Okay, so this is the purpose of this video. Okay, thank you. We will meet in our next video. Okay, bye.